And welcome to your latest edition of Wardy's Screencast. Writing Workshop. Working on thematic essays today. We're going to work on how to collect ideas and thoughts about the themes by quote-unquote writing long. Writing about the theme. You're going to, after you complete reading either The Lottery or Harrison Bergeron, the story you're working on that you're going to write a theme essay about, and completing the questions, I'm going to have you write long about the theme, just getting your thoughts. Really, this is, you've collected some thoughts we're going to be developing as well. So let me get into it. And this one might be a little bit longer than normal because I'm going to model how to do it. So we're going to analyze the theme topics, I'm going to model it, and then eventually you're going to do this yourself for either The Lottery, Harrison Bergeron, or if there was another story. So here's the thing. The first thing you do is list topics that you learn a lesson about. And you're going to write long about that topic in the text. So if I'm thinking about, I'm going to model this, I've said, all summer in a day. What topics could we learn a lesson about? The one topic that comes to mind, jealousy. The guilt also. But the guilt's really caused by the jealousy, so I'm going to focus on jealousy for now. There could be others, but we've talked about jealousy ad nauseum, and I've mentioned jealousy 8 times in the last 22 seconds, so I should move on. So I'm going to have jealousy. So what I'm going to want to do is, bear with me, I'm going to want to open up and create a Google Doc to do this. You're going to do this in your notebook. However, we all know what Mr. Ward's handwriting looks like. Hence, we are going to do this in the Google Doc. And I almost have a Google Doc open. Imagine that. So, I'm going to put my word, make sure it's Times New Roman 12 point. So that's what all your writing should be in. Just bear with me. This is amazing stuff. Times New Roman 12. All right. And I'm just going to put the topic at the top of the page. Jealousy. I'm going to unbold it so I can get going. All right. So I'm going to be back this. So I've listed my topic. Now I'm going to write long. Well, what exactly do I have to do? I'm glad you asked. Think about these things. What does the writer want us to learn about that topic? What textual evidence supports the thoughts to the question above? What does this story really show the reader about jealousy? Why is it important to me? So what I do is this. I'm going to model this for you. I'm going to name the central problem or issues. There'll be jealousy. I'm going to go back to parts of the story that relate about the problem. I'm going to ask myself, what is the story teaching me? So this is where I'm going to kind of go back and forth a little bit. So I have all summer in a day. Now I need to find some evidence that points toward the jealousy and how it develops. So if you remember, the beginning of the story, they're talking about the fact the sun's going to come out. They're all happy. Margot's kind of there too, but she stands apart from the kids who can never remember a time where there wasn't rain and rain and rain. She's a little different. Margot is different. See, Margot's different. Then she kind of shares her poem, and the kid says, "You didn't write that." Now I have here that he's trolling her. Think of social media. Somebody famous puts something on Twitter and we don't like it. Maybe we're jealous of the fame they have. Maybe we're jealous of the money they have. Maybe it's somebody else and they're not famous, but you're just jealous of their vacation or whatever. You might, not you, we would not do this. Some people in this world are just negative. They troll. They just want to be negative for negativity's sake because they are jealous. And when I go to write, this is what I'm going to focus on a little bit, will be the fact that this evidence, he's trolling because he's really jealous. She knows what the sun looks like. He doesn't want to believe that she does. later on, speak when you're spoken to, shoves her again. They're kind of just treating her negatively. And if I get back to this, don't wait around here. You're not going to see anything. It's all a joke. It's not really happening. Again, he's jealous, acting poorly out of the jealousy. Then the jealousy makes the kids put her in the closet. At the end, they realize what they've done when they take it away. They change because they go from this jealous outrage to, hey, we saw the sun. Oh no, we were mean to Margot. They can't meet each other's faces. This generally happens when we feel some guilt. And guilt can teach a lesson. They've learned a lesson that the jealousy made them do something. They got caught up in it. So now what I want to do is this. I have some evidence that I've picked out. And you should go back through and start, if you haven't already, figuring out if it's the lottery, what that topic is, if it's Harrison Bergeron, the topic that you were learning a lesson about, and find some evidence that backs this up and make your connections to a time where maybe, in this case, we were jealous or we've seen people were jealous. And I kind of did that with the whole hashtag trolling. Maybe I should put a hashtag there too. Social media. We troll. I don't like to troll people. Not my style. Excuse me. So now we go back to this. I have to name the problem, the issue the characters face. Reflect on parts of the story and what's this really teaching me. So this is where I go back to. Go to my Google Doc. And we're just going to start writing, and I'm going to start with my title and author. All summer in a day. Why is that in quotes? If you can't answer that, call me over and let me know. Because I need to explain it to you. Not seriously, we should know why that's in quotes. It is a short story. If it was a book, it'd be in italics. Continuing on. By Ray Bradbury. Teaches readers about jealousy and how, and I'm just writing. This is not an essay necessarily. It will be basis of it. We can pull stuff from it. But I'm not worried about grammar necessarily right now, or how it sounds. I'm just kind of getting my thoughts out there. So All Summer in a Day by Ray Bradbury teaches readers about jealousy and how it can impact people negative ways when it, I'm going to say, gets the best of us. I'm going to write in third person. It's best of people. In the narrative, Bradbury, now I'm not going to say the narrative is about. I want to use my strong action verbs. Bradbury describes what happens when a class of 9-year-olds get jealous of the experiences of another student. The people live on Venus where it rains all day, every day. Once every 7 years, the people get to see and experience the sun for an hour or two. And yes, I know some misspellings. I'm just typing right now. I'll go back and fix those later. So we get to see the experience for an hour or two. Margot remembers the sun from her time on Earth, and the other kids get jealous of her experience. As a result, they lock her in the closet and feel guilty after they let her out. Alright, so if I go back to this, central problem, issues the character face. Now, reflect on parts of the story and what's this really teaching me about the problem. So now that's where I'm going to go back to my textual evidence. And I'm just going to go to another paragraph. So I've kind of really just done a quick little summary, mentioning the jealousy, mentioning what's going on. I have the climax of them kind of locking her in the closet. Actually, when they let her out too, they have that realization, that aha moment. So allow me to go back here. So I'm going to go back to my textual evidence. Bradbury points out pretty quickly that she is different because she couldn't remember a time when it wasn't rain and rain and rain. She, the other kids knew rain. She knew what the sun was like. But then jealousy really starts to pop up with, oh, you didn't write that, one of the kids protested. So I can start like this. In the beginning of the text, Margot appears different from the others. In fact, she remembers the sun and writes a poem about it. The kids appear to be jealous of her. In fact, one boy states, quote, "I have my evidence, transition, indicator one boy, verb states." Now I have to put a colon because this is actually, or another single quote because this is dialogue within. Aw, you didn't write that. This shows the boy is a bit jealous because he is kind of trolling Margot. Think of when people on Twitter roast a celebrity or someone else, negative comments. Oftentimes they do so out of jealousy. For example, and this is where you can kind of put your own spin on it. I'll share this one with you. Some of you will find it funny. Some of you think I'm mean. But this was partly out of being upset, but partly out of maybe, now I think about it, maybe just a little bit jealous. There was a former Eagle named Freddie Mitchell. And he was not very good. And he always would say, I trust my hands because they're so good. He was a receiver, had to catch the ball. So this year, after the Sixers lost the game, he put on Facebook, do we still trust the process? Well, it was right after a loss. So I think he was trolling the Sixers fans. He says he wasn't. But anyway, I might have tweeted back to him and said, I trust the process more than I trust your hands. Now, part of it was because the Sixers had just lost. However, maybe it's out of jealousy because he's an Eagle. He has people following him. He has a certain status in life simply because he played for the Eagles. Maybe there's a little jealousy. Maybe I can admit that. So, for example, I once tweeted to former Eagle receiver Freddie Mitchell, I trust a process more than your hands. He was a former NFL player, and he appeared to be ripping my beloved Sixers. And that's why I went back at him.